Hello, I'm Jenefer, I'm the founder of Silk Helix, and in this video I'm talking about hybrid working and why I think it just doesn't work. Hybrid working only really came about after the pandemic, and it came about as a compromise to people who wanted to carry on working from home because people discovered that they liked working from home, that it worked, it was effective, and it meant that they had a better work-life balance. I'll come back to that term another day. It's not a great term, but we'll use it for now. Anyway, hybrid working is a compromise. So it enabled people to be able to still work from home whilst also meeting the needs of whoever decided that actually they should be in the office as well. And that's partly why it doesn't work, because it's a compromise. People know it's a compromise. They see it as a compromise. It feels like a compromise. And in this case, not necessarily a particularly positive compromise. No one is really putting effort into either office-based working or home-based working. The reality is there is a cost, there's an investment, there's a style needed to both. So if you're running an office, you've got to provide people with desk space, you've got to provide kitchens, toilets, meeting rooms. All of these things come at a cost. When people are working remotely, you need to have the infrastructure for that too. And it's different. So you need to make sure that you've got things like chat functions, online meetings with good quality sound. Remote working needs investment in infrastructure too to make that work effectively. And that's going to be more of a software investment, as well as making sure people have got good setups at home and got the right equipment they need. So, for example, using things like video calling, you need to make sure people have got investment in sound quality so that you can actually have those meetings effectively. You've also got to have software that enables chats and information sharing, making sure people have got access to everything they need when they need it. You also need to be a bit more planned, a bit more proactive. When people are remote working, we need a management style that's very focused on outcomes, focused on being proactive, planning things. Now, I'd argue that that management style also works well in an office environment, but you can get away without doing those things so much when you're in an office environment. But remote working really does need that, certainly when it comes to focusing on outcomes, because you can't monitor who's doing what, when they're doing, whether they're sitting at their desk. Now, actually, that's never been a great way of monitoring whether or not somebody's effectively doing their job. But with remote working, we really need to know what the outcomes are that we're expecting, the deadlines. We need to know when we're expecting things by, so that we can monitor that and so that we can manage people. Now, this for some managers is going to be quite a big change to what they've done before, and therefore you're going to need some investment in management training, support, mentoring, coaching, to enable managers to really be able to manage their teams proactively in this new environment. And what I've found is that hybrid's kind of been put in place where it's just like, oh no, we'll just let people work from home for 2 days a week. We'll call that hybrid. Nothing's changed in terms of management style. There's no real investment in the infrastructure to make that remote or asynchronous working work. There's still paying out costs for desks, which are then empty desks when people aren't around. It's all a big compromise that isn't really being invested in. And on top of that, it's still very time-based and time-focused. As I said, with remote working, we need to be very outcome-focused. With hybrid, we tend to be, we'll do 2 days a week from home. There's often policies around setting those 2 days a week as agreeing them in advance. And actually, that doesn't necessarily work. Whereas when we've got either a remote first or a fully flexible way of working, what we're saying to people is work where you work best. If you need to be face-to-face for a particular task, a particular meeting, a particular brainstorming event, then get together, be in the meeting room, be together. If you don't, then don't. But when we're being time-focused, when we're being half-hearted, we're not really invested fully in making sure that people have got the infrastructure, the tools, the resources to make things work. That's why it doesn't really work. And that's why, for me, hybrid is never really going to work, because you've got to invest in both those infrastructures. You've got to invest in the office space. You've also got to invest in the infrastructure for remote working. That's just going to increase the costs of a business. And for me, that's why it just doesn't work. That's just my opinion on hybrid working. Tell me yours. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear your experiences. I'd love to hear your opinions. Pop them in the comments below and I will reply to every single one. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed my videos, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell and don't miss a single one.